We are live. Well, welcome everyone. Holly and I've just had a big giggling session behind the scenes. This is our second attempt, and we almost couldn't get it to work. We couldn't hear one another, but it's on our side.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, wow. All right. Let me just go back to some of my notes here. So thank you so much. And it's so good that I can hear you and see you, Holly.
I know. It's gold.
So, firstly, thank you everyone for checking in. We're very grateful that you've got the opportunity to check in and listen to us live. If you unfortunately can't watch us live, then do just hashtag replay and let us know where you're checking in from. And if you've got any questions throughout my interview with Holly, please pop them in the thread below and I'll share them on the screen and so that everyone can benefit, and I'll ask Holly the questions. So the theme of our day, our interview, is how to take your health to the next level and to stay ahead of the game. So Holly is a doctor of Chinese medicine and an acupuncturist, the founder of Innate Being Therapies in Canberra, and she focuses on women's health, fertility, pregnancy, and postnatal support. Holly has experienced and witnessed the benefits of a cutting-edge product that we'll be sharing, health technology, and she loves to empower others with their health choices. So you're going to learn from Holly today how she's staying ahead of the game. So warm welcome, Holly.
Thanks, Helga. It's lovely to be here again, and hopefully this is going to flow beautifully today.
Well, you haven't been booted off yet, so it looks like
I think we're in. I think
we're in. So do you want to I've got my questions here.
Yeah.
All right. Well, do you want to just share a snippet about what you do, like before I get into the interview questions? Yeah.
I'd love to. So, as you mentioned, I'm a doctor of Chinese medicine and I work with acupuncture. I also couple that with Chinese herbal therapy. I use meridian tapping. And yeah, you've mentioned my areas of passion. Definitely fell into the area of women's health from early in my career, which branched into birth as I entered my birthing years. And then I love postnatal support and into fertility to help other women have, achieve the dream of having babies. So, that's sort of part, most of my success.
Brilliant. And you've just recently, well, it seems like recently, but it's nearly 12 months, would it be, that you've opened your own clinic?
Oh my goodness. It was a couple of weeks pre-lockdown that I got courageous with a lovely friend of mine and colleague, Emma Straps, and we've got a clinic in Cook at the Cook Shops called Ambrosia, which is all about the nectar of your being. So yes, it wasn't the greatest timing, but we managed to actually keep things flowing at a time of great need for many. So yeah, it hasn't quite been 12 months, but I can't, it's such a blur this year, isn't it? It's really hard to keep track of time.
It is.
So I'd say a few weeks post-lockdown.
Exactly, and that's why it's so important to stay ahead of the game, which is, with our health and wellness. So do you want to share with the viewers what your life was like before you found these products?
Yeah, absolutely. I was reflecting on that because I think my story stems right back to kind of teenagehood into early adulthood, and some of the challenges that, sort of were a bit of a baseline challenge for me. And I was thinking into that, and really energy levels, I struggled with study, being able to hold concentration, and I was sort of in this fatigue loop for a long time. Doing my best with diet and maybe not being as good with my health in my 20s as I could have been. But there's sort of that sort of underpinning fatigue and adrenalized loop that I struggle with, which also I've had long-term sort of poor sleep quality, very sort of easily awoken. So I wasn't doing the best with my recovery there. And my guts have always been a bit challenged, again, stemming from early sort of approaches in childhood. Irritable, sort of unstable gut for a long time. So they were things that I guess were issues for me. And having 3 kids down the track there, I also will add in there that I don't feel I ever regained my brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess part of that fatigue loop is feeling a little bit trapped by that cycle and not really being able to crack it. It always felt quite limited by my energy and my capacity. I'd say kind of, a limitation around being willing and having the brain strength to stretch myself. And when I'm in those places, also, I've also struggled with long-term sort of fear with edging on anxiety. I think I just sometimes go a bit into survival when I'm struggling, and it's not the nicest place to be emotionally. So I definitely say sort of those fear overwhelmed states for me have been there long term as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
And look, it's not uncommon. I hear a lot of people that after a while it becomes their norm, and they sort of let go and accept that this is the norm where it really doesn't have to be. So and acknowledging and knowing that there is something else on the other side, but it's much more easier to be complacent and just say, okay, this is how it is now. Maybe it's an age thing, maybe it's this, and then people just get on with it, realizing that they don't have to keep feeling like that.
Absolutely. And I just wanted to mention, I guess, just prior to sort of like in my early 40s, again, the 40 issues, hit about 42. And apart from all those sort of things that, and like you've said, you just do your best with what you've got. I started to get a lot of kind of discomfort in my shoulders. And to me, yoga is one of my things I really enjoy. And I started to sort of accept that, okay, maybe any given day I won't be able to hold my strength. And that was quite disappointing, feeling my joints sort of getting weaker and more painful, along with my knees as well, because I like to run, and finding that I just had to accept that, okay, that's as much as my body's going to kind of give me today. So just accepting, like you say, you accept maybe as things sort of stack up a bit that I'm going to just do my best with this or draw on what I can to make a difference. They were things that
well, I know how you found the products, but maybe you might like to share with the viewers how you found them, and what you thought at the beginning when I shared some of the benefits and information, because you came along to an information session that I had when I was traveling and I was in Canberra at the time. Yeah,
that's right. Interesting timing. I was called for a few reasons. I've mentioned this before, but my poor dog died of a crippling neurological and sort of joint related stuff, and I just had to watch her fall. And it was a day that I'd pretty well had to say goodbye to her, that there was something in me that called, although most of me was saying I just really need to be with this grief. I was called to listen to you, and I was very inspired by, I guess, new understanding around, which was sort of opening my awareness to the area of oxidative stress. And that's not something that I knew much about, I guess, and was very called to be open to, I guess, what that could offer me personally. But as a practitioner, always open to where there's cutting edge new research, and this really just sort of opened my awareness to how oxidative stress can be beneath so many sort of states, issues and states. And it sort of took me on this journey into, I guess, starting with myself. I can't speak for something that I haven't had experience with. So a definite yes to seeing what could happen for me, even with just, I'd say I was in reasonable health, but just open to what could change.
Oh, it's so good, so good. So tell me your journey. Have obviously you started taking the products. So did you go through the whole, I'm going to study this, or you just had this innate sort of thing that said, I just want to try it?
Yeah, I think I was open to what was possible, and hearing your story, some things you shared really inspired me. But yes, there was a definite give this a go. Why not? What have I got to lose?
And obviously, if it's something that you're going to share, with your clients and your patients, you want to be 100% on board and try it and feel it for yourself. So what have been some of your results, like changes?
Well, early on, it was a really, and if I was just reflecting on this as well, the first month or so, there was this sense of my body just clearing and activating. I remember feeling this kind of, it's like, I guess I would have likened it to a bit of a detox and activation and change. but it just kind of continued for the first few months of definitely early on. Noticed clearing through my bowels, and then them regulating more. Sleep was improving. There was this joy, this energy that returned, like a deep kind of buzz. And I don't know, I kind of liken that to the cells singing a bit. It's like, yes, thank you, you know, like this thank you from my body. And I guess it was steady for like about, I remember 5 to 8 months of just things shifting. So I don't know exactly when my shoulders, were happy again. I don't exactly know, but it just kind of, these things sort of shift. So my knees and my shoulders, like I said, I like to run, and I was noticing I had more energy in my tank, even after running. I didn't get as breathless. I just had this kind of resilience that was building up for me. And definitely this courage, like this steadiness. And I like the word resilience because I feel like it's brought up my whole baseline in that, I'm not perfect in every way. I can push myself. I can ask more of myself, but I don't seem to fall like I used to. And I've, like many, I've had more challenge in my life in the last emotionally and mainly, emotionally and physically as well, just having to meet those challenges. And I've kind of been waiting for where I'm going to crash to some degree, and it's been amazing. It feels like I'm more capable as a person. I have more. I guess it's funny to say, but again, a greater sense of confidence and courage in myself.
Vitality, would you say, like just being?
Yes. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I love to throw that word around all the time. It's something that I value, that I can offer that to my clients too. And I'd say, definitely more vitality.
Because a lot of people say, what are you doing, what do you do, you've always got so much energy, you're always so out there, what are you doing? And I thought, well, it's just these simple products that we take that activate or reduce oxidative stress. Now, you mentioned you hadn't heard of oxidative stress either prior to. No.
Yeah, I'm not somebody that dives massively into research, but it really opened my world when I started to look, particularly, with the areas I work with. There's some really strong links to it being a factor, a big factor. And I feel
I'd heard
sorry, I was just going to say, when we understand it, it's hard to, can do our best to try to combat it, and that we're all doing our best, and these factors around us just can wear us down. And I really understand that, and I can integrate that into my kind of traditional learning as well, that we're dealing with more and more factors that wear us down, and we need all that we can get to give our bodies the chance to repair itself. And I think it's the biggest thing for me was the understanding around supplementation, things that supplement, help the body, sort of help the body get a certain outcome, as opposed to this activation, which was a whole new understanding of activating the body to do what it's made to do if it's given the chance. So
very
that's huge.
exciting. Yeah. No, it's the same with me. I had no idea what oxidative stress was. I'd heard of the term free radicals. I'd heard antioxidants thrown around left, right, and centre. You need antioxidants and that, but I had no idea of the correlation or the connection or whatever. So for me, it was mind-blowing, and mind-blowing that the doctors are not even awake to it. They're starting to now, I think, with a bit of a shift, but yeah. So what else? So you're also sharing it with your clients now. Has there been any like big shifts in any of the clients that you've seen that are taking anything worth mentioning?
Lovely. I was just reflecting on some lovely things. I had a beautiful client and friend say that it's changed her life. She was somebody struggling so badly with joint relation difficulties, really affecting her life, really. And she's not much older than me. And I found that really, it's so sad to see somebody so struggling so badly. So she absolutely reminded me of how much this has changed her life. I've had, I guess other friends as well that have taken it, and again, just don't look back. They just feel the difference across all the areas that they were hoping to see change. Joint related stuff. where there's inflammation in the body, and that can be in different places within us. Really love the change that can happen there. My mum raves. She's like me, has always had an irritable sort of struggle with her bowels, and she said, finally, and she really wanted me to hear this, finally there's stability in my bowels, greater form, and like, yes, mum, celebrating that, because I've really honestly watched her over the years, and she's tried lots. She's pretty conscientious. To name but a few shifts. Yeah, absolutely.
That's wonderful. And you're sharing it too now. Why did you feel the need to share it? Obviously you share it in your practice, but you're sharing it wider now.
Yeah, it feels like something that I can share that's not about me necessarily offering a treatment. I feel like it fits that wellness paradigm. It's something where I don't have to diagnose, I don't have to come to conclusions. If somebody feels called to see what can happen for them, it's like something I can share with friends that I'm, I'd say globally, I'm reaching out and just letting people know the difference that can be felt. And I love that, because it's just given me another, I guess, element to my work to be able to share. And yeah, I do trust that people know if it feels called, it feels right, they'll give it a go. And the best that can happen is that they can get a shift, they can get a change in something they want to feel a difference to. It's also something that, it has been challenging times. I can't rely on necessarily being there one-on-one in the clinic with people. And again, I also traveled, when I discovered this, I was just before I went on a 3-month trip, and I was just sharing it with people. It's nice to have something to share that they can follow up, inquire into, and choose it. So I guess it fits that empowerment, that empowerment aspect to my work that I value, giving people the empowerment in themselves, in their health.
That's so good. We've got Justine Jansen. Lovely to see you, ladies. Thanks for sharing, Holly. That was nice. So was there anything else that you wanted, like a final words, like anyone that's curious? Like I know that we are going to do a bit of a prize at the end of it. So if anyone is interested, both myself and Holly are going to be giving away a gift, probably a month's worth each or something like that, to try the product for yourself if you're keen and you're not on the product at the moment. So all you have to do is watch this either live or a replay. If it's a replay, just put #replay and where you're checking in from. Could be Melbourne, Sydney, could be overseas, America, anywhere. So yeah, # where you're checking in from and replay or live. Tag 3 friends that you would think may be interested in just learning about what we've just shared here, and share their live or do a watch party, better still, and we will pick somebody. It's Monday, so by Wednesday, I'd say 5 o'clock, we'll announce the winners on my page. So they'll be getting a month's supply of one of the products, and I've also got another little super surprise, but I won't share that yet. They'll get a surprise and I'll announce it on Wednesday at 5 o'clock. So before we part, Holly, what would you like to share? Your final words, anyone that's sitting there maybe contemplating, wonder if this is for me. Should I try? Should I talk? Should I reach out?
Oh, gosh. It's so hard to have final words that stick. I think I'd just be recapping. It's something that if you're wondering what I guess best case, there's going to be some great shifts, and I'll just go with best case. Because whether we don't have to understand the depth of science around oxidative stress, but from the moment we're born and when we hit our 20s, we're our body's just the switch turns off. So there's bound to be something that can shift, change, transform for you if you wanted to give it a chance.
That's awesome. And I still relay back to when we first started chatting, that the norm that sometimes people think something's happening and they just accept it and take it as part of the norm, where it does not need to be part of the norm. By activating your body and reducing oxidative stress can give you more vitality, less brain fog, more energy, better sleep. There's so many things. So we don't need to be a victim of oxidative stress and that bombarded by the environment in which we live. We have the solution, which is really exciting. And the best thing, it's all natural.
Yeah, that's what I love. It's just powerful, powerful herbs that come together. All stand alone as powerful herbs, but are so much more potent in combination. So, most people are familiar with them all. It's like, oh, I'm already taking one of those or one of those. And to people who are taking one of those or one of those, you know what? That's great. I guess it's just understanding this power of the synergy and those antioxidants that happen. And I guess there's a bit of magic there, but it's true. I think, it's something about
an aha moment to me, because throughout my journey, my health journey, I was spending, I think, $1,000 on supplements and vitamins and shakes that my naturopath had me on, as well as changing diet and everything. And then when I learned about supplementation and this activating, so you're actually activating your body, you're not supplementing, and what your body doesn't use just goes out anyway. And whether or not your body decides to absorb what you're trying to supplement is another thing, the absorption. But by activating pathways, I just think it's phenomenal. Like, I'm not a scientist, but it's just exciting what we've stumbled on.
Definitely. I hear you. For those who are willing and they try a million things, it can just feel like another thing. But I think that is the key factor, the activation, and that's worth looking into if anyone here does want to know a little bit more. Or wants to reach out, because that's something to really grasp around it.
Absolutely.
It's really unique in that.
I'll share your contact page, your URL link. So if anyone wants to have a chat to Holly as well, she has free 15-minute consultations as well. If you want to have a further chat, she does a lot. You do some online coaching as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you, everyone. And thank you, Holly, for checking in. It's been a pleasure. I just can't wait to visit again once all this COVID disappears. See you in the flesh.
I look forward to that, Helga. Have a great day. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Thanks. Bye, everyone. Bye for now.
Bye.